Hello, everyone. It's day 15 of the 28-day Get Hired Challenge. That means we're more than halfway done now. How are you guys holding up? I hope you're finding value in these because, again, my goal here is just to help get you hired in cybersecurity. So today, day 15, we are digging into cybersecurity degree programs. Let's go. Hello once again, I'm Melissa Miller. This is day 15 of the 28-day Get Hired Challenge. We are working on getting you hired in cybersecurity because we need your shining smart faces in this community. So, we're talking about cybersecurity degrees today. The question of whether or not to get a degree and what to get a degree in. This is one that plagues a lot of people who are considering getting into cybersecurity. Do I need to have a degree? Do I need to have a degree in IT or cybersecurity? What should I be doing here? Should I have an advanced degree? These are all questions that come up, and they make a lot of sense for people to be asking these questions. So let's take a look first at some of the survey information from back in 2020. When I asked experienced folks in cybersecurity whether or not they had a degree, these were the results that I got. So you see, the majority, a strong majority, have a computer science degree of some fashion. Almost an equal number had some type of information technology degree, and then you see cybersecurity, right? So those are the top three. I guess that makes a lot of sense. We would kind of expect to see that. But then look at number 4. No degree at all. And then look at the 5th, others. And then we see accounting, business, engineering, sciences, history, political science. People with all sorts of different backgrounds. So what does this tell us? Well, obviously, it tells us that a lot of people in the field have degrees in the field. Now, correlation doesn't necessarily imply or, equal causation, right? So we don't know, I can't say that those people are in this field because they have those degrees, or do they have those degrees because they wanted to be in this field, right? So the point of this, though, is to show you that there are people with all sorts of different degrees and many who don't even have degrees at all. A very strong, significant number of people who answered the survey who are working in cybersecurity jobs don't have a degree at all. So take that for what it's worth. Like so many different organizations in so many different industries, there are still a lot of organizations looking for cybersecurity people where they are looking for a degree. They still have some type of degree requirement. Not all of them, clearly. And we're seeing those numbers reduce more and more. I'm very excited to see that less and less am I seeing job descriptions for cybersecurity roles that require a degree. Now, does that mean a degree doesn't mean anything? Absolutely not. Because I will tell you right now that as a hiring manager, when I'm looking at 2 candidates, if all other things are equal, but one has a degree and one doesn't, I am going to lead towards the one who has a degree. Why? Because there are just things that you learn in a college degree program that you don't learn just from on-the-job experience. Now, that's not to say that I for sure would hire that person over the other, but it does give them a leg up. And so that's important for you as a job seeker to understand that hiring managers do sometimes look at it that way. So as you kind of consider, okay, do I want to get a degree? That's something you do need to consider. Now, if you already have a degree, what you can see here clearly is that going and getting a cybersecurity or an IT degree probably isn't necessary. And again, I can say the same. As a hiring manager, I'm less interested in what that degree is. It is good to have an IT degree. It's nice, but I would never look to somebody and say, boy, I'm not going to hire you because you don't have a degree in cybersecurity, or you don't have a degree in IT or something like that. Do you learn some things from that? Yes, absolutely. So if you have no experience in IT at all, and your degree is in, say, accounting, and you want to go get a degree, like you feel like you're going to learn something and benefit from that, by all means do it. But what I want you to understand is that it is just simply not required. Remember when we talked in our third installment, we talked about diversity, right? And I said at the time, I talked about how important it is to have people with diverse perspectives. And we talked about all the different roles in cybersecurity. And you saw how people with all sorts of varying backgrounds fit into different roles in cybersecurity. It's the same way with your degree. So if you're trying to make the transition from criminal justice into cybersecurity, that criminal justice degree you have is very valuable. So keep that in mind. Anything where you've got a degree, you don't need to go get another one. Now, if you decide you want to get a cybersecurity degree, there are a couple different ways you can do that. Sure, you can go to a traditional 4-year school that happens to have a computer science or IT or cybersecurity degree program. And it's probably going to be structured like a traditional 4-year college. You're going to go through core classes. You're going to do some, probably more theoretical type classes regarding IT and cybersecurity concepts and so on and so on and so on. Those are good. However, there are some university programs out there with cybersecurity programs specifically that are focused on really trying to build practical skills. And so a lot of them result in, a portion of the curriculum being you actually getting a certification or multiple certifications in some cases. So that might be something you want to consider, because then you kind of check 2 boxes at once. Now you might also want to look at whose certifications you're going to end up, getting during that, and make sure that there are certifications you want to be getting. But those are programs you can look at too. And sometimes those are even part of like an accelerated program. So all of those are valid. Now let's talk about advanced degrees. So when I talk about advanced degrees, I'm talking about, I think this is a pretty standard definition, but I'm talking about your master's and PhD style degrees, right? Things that are beyond just your typical associate or bachelor's degree. Advanced degrees are definitely not necessary to get your job in cybersecurity. And I will say this full out right away. An advanced degree to me, that's something maybe you want to look at if your goal is to get into, say, a management role at some point. The only exception to that would be if you have your degree in something like English or philosophy, and you decide you want to get a cybersecurity or an IT degree, then maybe get a master's degree rather than, a second bachelor's. That might be worthwhile. But consider there's no need, I'm not going to look at somebody who I'm looking to hire into, say, a vulnerability management role or something like that and be looking for them to have a master's. And in fact, if you already have a technical, IT-ish related degrees, computer science, whatever, and you want to get into management, the thing I recommend to most people is go get an MBA. If you're going to get a master's anyway, get an MBA, because as you start to move into management and higher levels of management where a master's degree will matter, having that business knowledge is a part of those jobs, and it's going to be valuable to you. Now, if you want to stay technical and you don't really want to get into management, there is one way that I can see that an advanced degree is valuable, and that's if you get into an advanced research program. There are a number of great graduate programs out there that are doing really advanced research in things like vulnerability research. There's a number of schools that are working with open source software to identify vulnerabilities. So, students in the program are learning about how to test for and find vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, they're contributing back to the open source community by identifying vulnerabilities and submitting pull requests or whatnot to get them fixed by the maintainers. So there's other research going on as well. Certain things, the applicability of AI into cybersecurity, all sorts of different advanced programs. That's something where there's definitely value in an advanced program. But that's because now with that research, you're doing practical skill building. You're contributing to cybersecurity already. And that's something that will go a long way, a lot longer than just a degree when it comes to trying to get into a cybersecurity job. So here's what I'm asking for from you. Really simple. I hope you're all comfortable doing this. But in the comments below, so I can give away a free book again today, I want you to tell me what degree you have or if you have no degree at all. That's it. I just want to hear from you. Let us know. You saw the survey data. You saw how varied that is. So regardless of what degree you have or if you don't have a degree at all, there is nothing you need to worry about here. Nobody's going to be judging one way or the other. But just let me know, and I'll randomly pick a winner from the comments. And then, of course, I'm going to remind you yet again, like I've done every day, all this month, Manning is giving you 35% off any and every title on their site. Go to Manning.com, enter the discount code, or follow that link, or use the QR code. They'll all get you to the same place, and that is 35% off any Manning title. So be sure to check that out, and be sure to keep coming back here every single day for the rest of the month. We're already more than 2 weeks in. You're more than halfway there. Stick with me because I really want to help get you hired in cybersecurity, and I will see you tomorrow.